They sit behind golden gates, on huge parcels of land, sometimes perched inside elite neighborhoods where privacy is treated like a luxury amenity. These are the secret mansions of the richest Vietnamese families in America. These families arrived in America or started with nothing, but their mansions today feature private roads and luxury the public barely gets to see. So where are these mansions and what do they look like from the inside? Let's find out. Number 10. Kieu Hoang's Hummingbird Nest Ranch. If there is one Vietnamese-American billionaire whose real estate portfolio feels almost cinematic in scale, it is Kieu Hoang. Hoang built his fortune in biotechnology and plasma medicine through companies connected to global pharmaceutical markets. That industry rarely produces celebrities, yet it quietly generates immense wealth. Instead of spotlight fame, Hoang's success came through laboratories, research partnerships, and the medical supply chains that connect hospitals across continents. Eventually, that success translated into a property so vast that it almost stops looking like a home and starts resembling a private kingdom. If you want the clearest example of Vietnamese-American wealth turning into real estate spectacle, start Hoang's Hummingbird Nest Ranch in the hills north of Los Angeles. Hummingbird Nest Ranch is not just a mansion. It is an entire private world. The property covers about 123 acres in the Santa Susana Mountains. Public reporting says it includes a 17,000-square-foot Spanish-style mansion, 16 guest houses, a 20,000-square-foot horse barn, equestrian facilities, and even a helipad. Kieu Hoang bought it in 2016 for $33 million after it had once been marketed for as much as $75 million. The exterior alone shows why few estates in Southern California compare to it. The main mansion resembles a Mediterranean hacienda, with terracotta roofs, stone archways, and courtyards that glow under the California sun. From above, the property spreads outward like a private village surrounded by hills. Guest houses sit across the landscape like satellites around a palace. The equestrian complex is large enough to host professional riding events. Vineyards and gardens weave through the property like ribbons of green. That alone would make it huge. But here is where it gets interesting. This estate is one of those places millions of people have technically seen without realizing who owns it. It has been used for television productions and high-end events, and in 2024, it became the setting for Jen Tran's season of The Bachelorette. Viewers watched contestants wander through courtyards and hills without realizing they were standing inside a real billionaire estate. And that gives this property a strange double life. It appears on television as a glamorous backdrop, yet its true identity is a symbol of something bigger. It shows how immigrant wealth can eventually translate into land ownership on a scale that rivals historic American ranch dynasties. The richest families are not always hiding in dark corners. Sometimes they are visible on television and still impossible to truly reach. And once you understand that trick, the next mansion reveals a completely different path to power. Number 9. Beverly Hills Food Dynasty House. The Family. Few immigrant success stories in California carry the same quiet prestige as the one built by Helene An. Long before Vietnamese cuisine became fashionable in major American cities, An was introducing its flavors to Hollywood executives, studio heads, and political figures. After fleeing Saigon in 1975, she rebuilt her life in the United States and eventually created the House of and Restaurant Empire, the family brand behind Crustacean and several of the most celebrated Vietnamese dining destinations in California. Over time, those restaurants became gathering places for celebrities, investors, and industry leaders. Food became the family's language of influence. But the clearest symbol of that success sits far from the kitchen, in the hills of Beverly Hills. Tucked into Coldwater Canyon stands the An family's French chateau-style mansion, a property that reflects the same elegance and discipline that defined their restaurants. The exterior carries the charm of a European countryside estate, with steep slate rooflines, tall arched windows, and stone detailing that gives the house a timeless presence among the surrounding hills. A long driveway leads through landscaped gardens before revealing the full scale of the residence. From the outside, the mansion looks almost like a small private palace hidden inside the canyon. Ivy climbs along the walls while manicured hedges and mature trees soften the edges of the property, creating a quiet sanctuary only minutes from the busy streets of Beverly Hills. Inside, the house unfolds through wide living spaces designed for hosting and conversation. Large dining rooms echo the family's culinary heritage, while elegant sitting areas open toward terraces overlooking the surrounding hills. Natural light pours through tall windows and spreads across polished floors, giving the interiors a warm and inviting atmosphere. This is not a flashy celebrity mansion designed for social media tours. It is a home built with the same philosophy that made the Anne restaurant successful: precision, hospitality, and understated luxury. The house was later listed for more than $5 million, a reminder that the property represents more than just real estate. It represents decades of cultural influence and business success built one plate at a time. But while Beverly Hills represents quiet culinary wealth, the next mansion belongs to a family whose fortune grew inside the financial and real estate world of Texas. Number 8. The River Oaks Fortress, the Ho family. Houston has its own language of wealth. Los Angeles offers cinematic views and celebrity compounds. Houston offers land, legacy, and neighborhoods where fortunes grow behind iron gates and towering oak trees. That is exactly the environment where the Ho family built their mansion. The Ho family rose to prominence through banking, real estate investments, and financial services across Texas. Patriarch Bin Ho built the foundation of the family's fortune through business ventures that helped many Vietnamese American entrepreneurs establish themselves in the region. Over time, those investments expanded into a powerful family empire rooted in property and finance. Their lifestyle later became widely known through the HBO series House of Ho, which gave viewers a glimpse into the family's world of wealth and tradition. At the center of that world stands their River Oaks estate. The property stretches across a large lot surrounded by towering trees and manicured gardens that shield the house from the outside world. From the street, the mansion appears like a classical southern estate. Tall white columns rise along the front entrance while wide balconies overlook the grounds. A sweeping, circular driveway leads visitors toward the main entrance, creating the kind of dramatic arrival usually associated with luxury hotels or historic estates. Inside, the scale becomes even more impressive. Grand living halls open beneath high ceilings, while elegant staircases curve upward through the center of the home. Large entertainment rooms provide space for gatherings that bring together extended family, business partners, and community leaders. The mansion also reflects the family's cultural identity. Traditional Vietnamese artwork and decor appear throughout the interiors, blending heritage with American luxury design. The result is a house that feels both stately and deeply personal. That combination of scale, elegance, and seclusion makes the Ho family estate a true fortress of wealth in the heart of Houston. And if Houston represents one form of power built through finance and property, the next mansion returns us to California, where luxury becomes even larger and even more spectacular. Number 7. The Beachfront Castle, Mimi Morris. When people first see Mimi Morris on Bling Empire, the jewelry, fashion, and lavish lifestyle immediately grab attention. But the real statement of wealth in her life is not a necklace or a couture gown. It is the mansion overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Mimi Morris was born in Vietnam and later built her life in the United States, eventually marrying construction executive Donald Morris. Together, they occupy one of the most breathtaking oceanfront properties in Southern California, located inside the ultra-exclusive Strand at Headlands Community in Dana Point. The home sits on cliffs that drop directly toward the Pacific, where waves roll endlessly toward the shore like a moving sheet of glass. The mansion itself reflects classic coastal luxury at its highest level. The property stretches across thousands of square feet with 6 bedrooms, expansive living halls, and towering glass windows designed to capture uninterrupted ocean views. A private elevator connects the levels of the house, allowing movement through the property as effortlessly as moving between floors of a 5-star resort. But the details reveal just how carefully engineered the estate is. The garages include space not only for luxury vehicles but also for golf carts, allowing residents to travel through the private coastal enclave without ever leaving the gates. Wide terraces overlook the ocean, where sunsets wash the entire coastline in gold and crimson every evening. Few places in California combine natural beauty and security like the Strand. The entire community is gated and tightly controlled, meaning every resident enjoys both privacy and prestige. The result is a mansion that operates as both a palace and a shield. It displays wealth with sweeping ocean views while quietly placing layers between the owners and the outside world. And that contrast makes the house fascinating. Mimi Morris lives in a home that looks like a luxury travel destination, yet it remains part of a carefully protected enclave. But oceanfront glamour is only one form of wealth. The next mansion belongs to a woman whose fortune was not built on television or social visibility, but on hard work and grit. Number 6. The Atlanta White House. Some wealthy homeowners build mansions designed to blend into their surroundings. Kathy Lam built a mansion designed to be impossible to ignore. Tui I. Kathy Lam arrived in the United States from Vietnam with very little money and a determination to build a better life. She entered the nail salon industry, working long hours while learning the business side of the beauty industry. Over time, she expanded beyond salons and began building training programs in schools that educated thousands of aspiring cosmetologists. That shift from worker to educator transformed a modest career into a thriving business network. Years later, that success materialized in one of the most unusual luxury homes in the country. Lamb's estate in Oak Grove, Georgia looks strikingly familiar the moment it comes into view. The mansion is a full-scale architectural recreation of the White House in Washington, D.C. Tall white columns rise along the front facade, while the symmetrical layout mirrors the design of America's most famous residence. From a distance, the house looks less like a suburban mansion and more like a presidential landmark placed in the middle of Atlanta's suburbs. The property spreads across several acres and includes a massive residential complex exceeding 20,000 square feet. At the center stands a 16,000-square-foot main residence containing 13 bedrooms and enormous formal living spaces. Nearby sits a large guest house that functions almost like a second mansion, with multiple bedrooms and entertainment areas for visitors. Inside, the dramatic theme continues. Certain rooms echo famous interiors from the real White House, including spaces inspired by the Oval Office and the Lincoln bedroom. Grand halls stretch across polished floors while towering ceilings and elegant lighting create the atmosphere of a government residence rather than a private home. Few mansions in America carry symbolism as boldly as this one. A woman who arrived in the country with only a few $100s eventually built a house modeled after the residence of the American president. Most luxury homes try to hide behind gates and landscaping. This one stands proudly in plain sight. But while this mansion makes a statement with architecture, the next property signals wealth in a completely different way. Number 5. The Celebrity California Estate. Lana Condor represents a different kind of Vietnamese-born success in America. Instead of building a corporate empire or controlling industrial wealth, she built something far more modern. She built a global audience. Her breakthrough came with the Netflix film series To All the Boys I've Loved Before, a romantic comedy franchise that quickly became one of the streaming platform's biggest hits. Overnight, Condor went from a rising actress to one of the most recognizable young stars in Hollywood. That success eventually translated into a home that reflects the quieter, more personal side of celebrity luxury. The real story begins with the mansion itself. Condor's California estate is not a towering mega-compound like the ranches and dynastic mansions seen earlier on this list. Instead, it is a carefully redesigned residence that shows how modern Hollywood stars approach luxury living. The house underwent a complete transformation over nearly 2 years, guided by interior designer Joseph Mansour. The project reshaped the property into a bright, flowing space that blends classic European inspiration with the relaxed elegance of California architecture. From the outside, the estate carries the charm of an Italian-inspired villa. Soft stucco walls, warm tones, and carefully landscaped gardens create the feeling of a Mediterranean retreat placed inside Southern California. Tall windows draw sunlight deep into the interior, while wide glass doors open toward patios and outdoor living areas that stretch across the grounds. Inside, the mansion emphasizes openness and movement. Here, it features a room that flows naturally into the dining areas, while the hallway opens toward spacious entertainment spaces designed for hosting friends and family. Natural light pours across polished floors and neutral interiors, giving the home an atmosphere that feels calm, elegant, and inviting rather than overwhelming. The outdoor areas continue in a grand style. The patios, gardens, and lounge spaces are arranged so gatherings can easily move from indoors to outdoors, a hallmark of California luxury design. The result is a home that feels like a private retreat where architecture and landscape work together as one continuous space. The house also became the setting for a major personal milestone. After marrying actor and musician Anthony De La Torre in 2024, Condor hosted parts of the wedding celebrations at the property, including the wedding dinner and farewell brunch. The estate therefore carries memories as well as architectural beauty. While other mansions on this list symbolize industrial power or billion-dollar businesses, this home represents something different. It represents creative success and a place where a global career finally settles into something lasting. And that quiet sense of arrival makes it a perfect mansion for this list. Before we continue, here's a quick one. If you're enjoying the video and want access to exclusive content and member-only perks, feel free to become a member of the channel using the join button below. Channel members get some cool benefits, and it also helps support the channel so we can keep making more videos like this. Alright, let's get back to the video. Number 4. The Houston Jewelry King Mansion. Johnny Deng built his fortune on sparkle. Known throughout hip-hop culture as the King of Bling, Deng transformed a small jewelry repair career into one of the most recognizable luxury jewelry brands in American music. After immigrating from Vietnam, he began working as a watch repair technician in Houston. Precision, patience, and craftsmanship slowly turned that modest job into a thriving jewelry business. Everything changed when hip-hop culture began demanding jewelry that pushed past traditional limits. Artists wanted larger chains, brighter diamonds, and custom pieces that would stand out on stage and in music videos. Deng recognized that opportunity early and began designing custom diamond grills, decorative jewelry worn over the teeth that quickly became iconic across the music industry. Soon, artists from across the country were flying to Houston specifically to commission pieces from him. His designs appeared in music videos, award shows, and concerts watched by millions. Success at that level eventually produced a lifestyle that matched the brilliance of his creations. Deng's Houston mansion reflects the opulence of the industry that made him famous. The residence stands inside one of the city's upscale neighborhoods where homes stretch across large private lots. From the outside, the mansion presents a grand facade with towering columns, elegant stonework, and landscaped grounds surrounding the property. Inside, the house unfolds like a luxury hotel. Marble floors extend through vast living halls, while crystal chandeliers hang above carefully designed interiors. Entertainment rooms host gatherings for celebrity clients and business partners, and expansive garages house collections of luxury vehicles. But the mansion's most striking quality is how it balances spectacle with privacy. Deng's jewelry shines under bright stage lights and appears in front of millions of fans. The home behind that success remains a far more private retreat. The brand may glitter across the music industry, but the mansion itself remains a guarded sanctuary. And if Bradbury shows what quiet retail wealth looks like, the next mansion does something completely different. Number 3. Chinh and Phuong. In the world of high finance, Chinh built a reputation that few Vietnamese Americans have ever matched. Born in Vietnam and later arriving in the United States as a refugee, Chu climbed into the inner circles of Wall Street through sheer financial skill. During his career at the investment giant Blackstone, he engineered multi-billion-dollar corporate deals that reshaped entire industries. When someone operates at that level of finance, ordinary houses no longer make sense. The residences associated with figures like Chu function more like private compounds designed for security, privacy, and high-level gatherings. Chu's life also intersects with Vietnamese cultural prominence through his marriage to singer Phuong, whose career brought recognition across Vietnamese communities worldwide. Together, they represent a rare blend of financial power and artistic influence. The family residence reflects that scale. The mansion spans enormous living spaces designed for entertaining business leaders, philanthropists, and cultural figures. Grand halls stretch across the interior like the lobbies of private clubs. Towering ceilings allow natural light to pour through expansive windows, illuminating marble floors and carefully designed interiors. Outside, landscaped grounds surround the property with the quiet symmetry of a luxury resort. Gardens and terraces create secluded outdoor spaces where gatherings can unfold far from the attention of the public. Yet the most striking feature of the mansion is not any single room. It is the privacy surrounding the entire property. In the circles where billion-dollar deals are negotiated, discretion becomes a form of status. Homes are built not only for beauty, but also for distance. The result is a residence that feels less like a celebrity mansion and more like a financial fortress. It exists as a quiet symbol of one of the most successful refugee to billionaire journeys in American finance. But while financial power builds enormous fortunes, another Vietnamese American family built their empire in an industry even more fundamental to modern cities. Number 2. The Bradbury Mega Mansion. Bradbury is the kind of place that makes Beverly Hills look almost social. Hidden in the quiet foothills east of Los Angeles, this tiny city has become one of the most exclusive residential enclaves in California. The streets are calm, the lots are enormous, and the homes sit so far back from the road that most people never see more than the gates. In Bradbury, privacy is not just a luxury feature, it is part of the architecture itself. That setting makes it a perfect home for Kieu Tran, the founder of the Chinh Fat supermarket chain. Tran built a retail empire supplying Asian groceries to immigrant communities across the western United States. From that business success came the resources to build one of the largest private estates in the area. The mansion rises deep inside a multi-acre property surrounded by thick landscaping and tall security gates. A sweeping driveway winds through manicured lawns before revealing the main residence, a massive Mediterranean-inspired structure that stretches across tens of thousands of square feet. From the outside, the house resembles a private palace, with towering columns, arched windows, and wide balconies overlooking the grounds. Inside, the scale becomes even more impressive. Double-height living rooms open beneath crystal chandeliers while marble floors extend across grand entertaining spaces designed for large gatherings. Wide staircases connect the different wings of the house, and expansive windows allow sunlight to flood the interior throughout the day. Surrounding the mansion are landscaped gardens, private courtyards, and outdoor spaces designed to host events on a scale that most homes could never accommodate. But the most powerful feature of the estate is distance. In Bradbury, homes sit on lots so large that the driveway alone can stretch hundreds of feet before reaching the front door. That distance creates the ultimate luxury. It creates separation from the outside world. It's time for the final estate on this list. Number 1. The Duong family. The Duong family story begins with a dramatic reversal of fortune. Before the Vietnam War, the family already controlled major industrial assets in Saigon, including one of the city's largest paper mills and an enormous multi-story family residence. Political upheaval forced them to leave everything behind and begin again in the United States. When they arrived in San Francisco, their circumstances could not have been more different. 16 relatives shared 2 small studio apartments while working to rebuild their lives from the ground up. From those tight quarters emerged a business empire that would eventually shape California's recycling and environmental services industry. David Duong led the expansion of California Waste Solutions, turning the company into a major contractor responsible for recycling and waste management across large metropolitan regions. The scale of those operations placed the family at the center of one of the most essential infrastructures of modern urban life. Success on that scale eventually translated into private wealth capable of supporting enormous estates. The Duong family residence in Northern California reflects the stability and permanence of an industrial dynasty. The estate spreads across a large gated property surrounded by landscaped grounds and long private driveways that separate the home from surrounding streets. The mansion itself features expansive halls, grand staircases, and entertainment spaces large enough to host gatherings for business partners and extended family networks. But the true character of the property lies in its quiet presence. Unlike celebrity homes designed for social media tours, the Duong residence reflects a different philosophy of wealth. The family business operates in public through massive municipal contracts, while the home itself remains a private sanctuary. That contrast tells viewers something powerful about industrial fortunes. Some families announce wealth through flashing lights and reality television. Others build companies that quietly shape entire cities. And that difference prepares us for the next mansion on the list. A property so vast and visually striking that it begins to resemble a private kingdom hidden within California itself. Which property surprised you most? Drop your pick in the comments. And don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to Her Status for more deep dives into hidden wealth in America.